Hunted by giants, frozen by an unforgiving world, and pushed to the edge of extinction, early humans faced the Ice Age as one of the most dangerous chapters in our species' history. Vast sheets of ice swallowed continents, temperatures plunged far below anything modern humans experience, and survival became a daily battle against starvation, predators, and the brutal cold. This was not a world designed for comfort or safety. It was a world that tested intelligence, cooperation, and adaptability at every step, and somehow, against overwhelming odds, early humans endured. During the Ice Age, much of the Earth was locked in a cycle of glacial expansion and retreat. Forests shrank, grasslands spread, and familiar landscapes transformed into frozen plains and tundra. Food was scarce and seasonal, forcing humans to constantly move in search of resources. Survival depended not on strength alone, but on the ability to read the land, anticipate danger, and adapt behavior to an ever-changing environment. A single mistake could mean death, not just for one individual, but for an entire group. Early humans were not the dominant predators of this world. They shared their environment with massive animals that seemed almost mythical in size and power. Woolly mammoths thundered across the plains, towering over human hunters. Saber-toothed cats stalked silently, capable of killing with a single strike. Cave lions, dire wolves, giant bears, and other Ice Age predators competed for the same prey humans needed to survive. Humans were smaller, weaker, and far less equipped physically, making them targets as much as hunters. To survive among these giants, humans relied on intelligence and cooperation. Alone, a human stood little chance against a mammoth or a cave bear. Together, armed with strategy and communication, they could bring down animals many times their size. Hunting was not a reckless charge, but a carefully planned operation. Humans used the terrain to their advantage, driving animals into traps such as ravines, muddy ground, or narrow passages where their size became a weakness. Spears tipped with stone, sharpened through repeated experimentation, became deadly tools when combined with teamwork and patience. Fire was one of the most powerful allies early humans possessed. In a frozen world, fire meant warmth, light, and protection. It kept predators at a distance, allowed humans to cook meat for better nutrition, and provided a place for social bonding and knowledge sharing. Around the fire, stories were told, strategies discussed, and survival skills passed from one generation to the next. Fire transformed raw survival into something more organized, giving humans a critical edge in a hostile environment. Clothing was another key innovation. Early humans learned to use animal hides and fur to shield themselves from the cold. These were not simple coverings, but carefully prepared garments stitched together with bone needles and sinew. Proper clothing allowed humans to travel farther, hunt longer, and survive harsh winters that would otherwise be fatal. This ability to adapt their bodies using tools marked a turning point in human survival. Shelter also evolved as the Ice Age intensified. Humans did not rely solely on caves, which were often dangerous and already occupied by predators. They built temporary structures from wood, bone, and animal hides, sometimes using mammoth bones as frames. These shelters provided protection from wind and snow and could be dismantled as groups migrated. Mobility was essential, as staying in one place too long could exhaust local resources and attract predators. Food scarcity was a constant threat. When large game was unavailable, humans turned to smaller animals, fish, birds, and gathered plants whenever possible. Nothing went to waste. Bones were cracked for marrow, skins were used for clothing and shelter, and sinew became thread. This efficiency was not a cultural preference, but a necessity. Every resource extracted from an animal increased the chances of survival. Perhaps the greatest challenge was not the cold or the predators, but uncertainty. Ice Age environments were unpredictable. Seasons could shift suddenly. Herds could disappear, and storms could wipe out entire camps. In this world, adaptability was the most valuable trait. Groups that failed to adjust their strategies, migrate in time, or cooperate effectively often vanished, leaving no trace behind. Social bonds became a survival mechanism. Early humans cared for injured members, shared food, and protected children and elders. This cooperation increased group survival, ensuring knowledge and skills were preserved. Language, even in its earliest forms, allowed humans to coordinate hunts, warn of danger, and teach complex behaviors. These social structures were as important as any weapon. Fear was a constant companion. The night belonged to predators, and darkness amplified every sound. A snapping branch could signal a stalking cat, and a distant roar could mean a rival hunter had entered the territory. Yet humans did not retreat into helplessness. They learned to face fear with preparation, using watch systems, fire, and group defense to reduce risk. Over thousands of years, these survival strategies shaped human evolution. Physical traits such as endurance and dexterity, combined with cognitive abilities like problem-solving and planning, became more pronounced. The Ice Age was not just a test of survival, but a crucible that forged the foundations of modern humanity. In the end, early humans did more than survive the Ice Age. They mastered it. They learned to live alongside giants, to turn a frozen wasteland into a home, and to transform vulnerability into strength. Every innovation, from stone tools to storytelling, played a role in this extraordinary survival story. The fact that humans exist today is proof that our ancestors did not merely endure the Ice Age, but overcame it through intelligence, cooperation, and an unbreakable will to survive.